Hi students, thanks for clicking this video. In this video, you are going to learn about the searching of errors. Searching of errors, where errors are occurred in trial balance. The accountant going to search what are the steps accountant going to follow to search the errors, to identify the errors. Which are the documents he is going to check it out. One by one we are going to discuss. If the trial balance does not tally, it is a clear indication that at least one error has occurred. The error or errors need to be located and corrected before preparing the financial statements. If trial balance does not tally, you know how the trial balances will be. So trial balance has two columns, that is debit and credit columns. It is accounting title, debit column, credit column. If both the column does not tally, at least one error is occurred, at least one error. Or more than one error, maybe it is occurred in our trial balance. So who is going to rectify and who is going to identify the errors? Accountant going to take steps to search the errors. Same time, before going to prepare financial statement, these errors should be rectified by an accountant. With error, if accountant is preparing trading account, profit and loss account, balance sheet called final account for the company or firm, it will not show perfect financial condition and exact profit and exact loss, this and that. So some deviations will be there because informations are wrong already. So before going to prepare the financial statement, before going to prepare the final accounts, the accountant must correct the mistakes. If trial balance does not tally, the accountant should take the following steps to detect and locate the errors. What are the steps he is going to take? One by one we can discuss elaborately. Recast the total of debit and credit columns in the trial balance. He is going to recast in debit and credit column all the amounts he is going to recast the trial balance, debit and credit columns of the trial balance. And second one is compare the amount head, title and the amount appearing in the trial balance with the ledger to detect any difference in amount or omission of an account. The accountant is comparing ledger accounts, which is called separate accounts, individual account with trial balance, because ledger account head will be there in trial balance accounting title, isn't it? So in trial balance accounting title, all the ledgers head will be appeared. For example, sales amount, purchases amount, capital amount, like this. So each and every single, if it is sales, if it is purchases, if it is capital or cash, whatever it is, that one is compare the trial balance of current year with the previous year to check additions and deletions of any accounts, and also verify whether there is a large difference in amount, whether is neither expected nor explained. And the accountant is comparing present year trial balance with previous year trial balance. Any headings are eliminated to compare with previous year trial balance, or any heading is added newly for present year trial balance. Or if any reasons are there, or it is explained or it is not explained about it, he is checking. The current year trial balance with previous year trial balance. Each and every year trial balance will be prepared. You know, some organization may prepare the trial balance each and every month or 3 months once or 6 months once, else in a year. So they are checking with previous trial balance whether any heading they omitted or additionally if any heading is added newly. So everything will be checked out properly by an accountant. And fourth one is redo and check the correctness of balances of individual accounts in the ledger. He is checking each and every single account's balances. You know, ledger account is a separate account, original account. After prepare ledger, after prepare journal, we will do ledger. From journal, we will do posting to the ledger, isn't it? It is the original account, separate account, individual account. That individual account balances will be checked by an accountant, because he is scrutinizing each and every single account. After completion of that ledger account only, that balances will be posted in our trial balance. The difference between debit and credit column is divisible by 2. There is the possibility that an amount equal to 1/2 of the difference may have been posted to the wrong side of another ledger account. For example, if the total of the debit column of the trial balance exceeds by 1500, it is quite possible that a credit item of 750 may have been wrongly posted in the ledger as a debit item. It is a trial balance, account title, debit column, credit column will be there, and he is checking the final balances of debit and credit. By chance, this final balances 1500 difference comes. To compare, while compare debit and credit, if we get 1500 as difference, this will be divided by 2. Then we will get the answer 750. This 750 rupees wrongly may be debited or wrongly credited. So accountant is checking the 750 in all the debit amounts. The difference may indicate a complete omission of a posting. For example, the difference of rupees 1500 given above may be due to omission of a posting of that amount on the credit side. Thus, the accountant should verify all the credit items with an amount of rupees 1500. The previous item, the imbalanced amount is divided by 2. Then that half of the amount the accountant is searching in all the debit side, right? So some other possibilities are there. Instead of wrong debiting, if they leaved any transaction, which means if they omitted a complete transaction in the credit side, 1500 also will leads to 1500 more in debit side, right? Can you get my point? See, it is a trial balance. Trial balance, you know, it is a TB. So debit side, credit side is there. So in debit side, total is 1500 excess than credit side, isn't it? Debit side total is 1500 excess than credit side. For example, credit side total is 1 lakh rupees and debit side 1 lakh and 1500 rupees. So this 1 lakh and 1500 rupees shows very clearly 1500 rupees is more than the credit column. So here the first step, the 1500 rupees they are divided in 2. Then 750 will come. All the 750 items he is searching in debit side of the trial balance at the same time in ledger account. But instead of doing that, in the other way, this 1500 may not be recorded, which means it is omitted. The transaction is not properly entered in the credit side of trial balance, which means it is errors of omission, complete omission. So all the entries of credit side of trial balance will be checked by an accountant and respective account also, which means ledger also will be scrutinized by an accountant. If the difference is the multiple of 9 or divisible by 9, multiple of 9 or divisible by 9. The mistake could be due to transposition of figures. For example, if debit amount of rupees 459 is posted as 954. So 459 only actually they should enter in trial balance debit side. But instead of that, they return 954 rupees. But 459 is divisible by 9. At the same time, 954 also divisible by 9. And the figures, the numbers are same. You look at this, 4 is here, 4 is here. 5 is here, 5 is here. 9 is here, 9 is here. It is transposition. It is transposition. And the debit total in the trial balance will exceed the credit side. Definitely the debit side will exceed the credit side, because instead of writing 459, they return in debit side alone 954. So here debit side will show more balances than credit side, isn't it? How much it will show more than that? 495 rupees, because 954 minus 459 is equal to 495 rupees. 95 rupees. All the three amounts can be divisible by 9. But 9 is the common one, dividing by 9. So this is transposition of figures, and it is a great mistake. Sometimes the accountant cannot identify this kind of mistakes. But this divisible by 9 or multiplication of 9 method is very helpful to identify like this kind of critical errors in trial balance. And this difference is divisible by 9. A mistake due to wrong placement of the decimal point may also be checked by this method. So decimal point also we can check it by this method. Thus, the difference in trial balance divisible by 9 helps in checking the errors of the transposition mistake. We should depends upon that for transposition mistake, the accountant should depends upon divisible by 9 method. I hope you understand. So these all the steps will be taken by the accountant to identify or search the errors where it is occurred. Then after identified, he will take the next step for rectification of errors. Rectification of errors. From the point of view of rectification, the errors may be classified into the following two categories. That are errors which do not affect trial balance, errors which affect trial balance. Some errors will not affect trial balance, some errors will affect trial balance. Complete omission will not affect trial balance, and errors of principles will not affect trial balance. So partial omission will affect trial balance. Errors of commission, omission, and errors of principle and compensating errors we have studied in our previous class. So some errors do not affect trial balance, some errors will do affect trial balance. This distinction is relevant because the errors which do not affect trial balance usually take place in two accounts in such a manner that it can be easily rectified through a journal entry, whereas the errors which affect the trial balance usually affect one account and journal entry is not possible for rectification unless a suspense account has been opened. Look at this. Some errors do not affect trial balance, like errors of complete omission, because it is completely omitted. It is not entered in only one side. Both the side it is not entered, debit and credit side. So it is complete omission. So you cannot identify any deviation at final stage in the total amount of trial balance. So this complete omission will not affect trial balance. So this will be rectified with the help of journal entry itself. We prepared the transaction into journal, which is that we journalized. After journalized, the journalized transaction should be posted into separate or individual account called ledger. There we leave mistake. Which means it is a cash sales transaction. Cash account to sales account, it is the entry, actual entry it is. But after prepare journal, after journalizing, we will do posting into the ledger. While we do posting into the ledger, we haven't entered the sales account credit side and cash account debit side the amount also. We completely omitted, and it is not transferred to the trial balance also. So these kind of errors will not affect trial balance. With the help of the journal entry only, we can solve it. Some errors do not affect trial balance, like errors of complete omission. This will be rectified with the help of journal entry. Directly we can refer journal entry because all the transactions are journalized. After journalized only that will be posted into ledger. But we failed to post into the ledger. So because of that we didn't write balance amount to the trial balance. Some errors do not affect trial balance. If you take errors of complete omission, that will not affect trial balance. These kind of errors will be rectified with the help of journal entry only. So with the help of journal entry, easily we can rectify these kind of errors of omission, complete omission especially, because we journalized, but we fails to transfer, we fails to post into the ledger. After posting into the ledger only, we will identify the balances, whether it is debit or credit balances, that will be entered in trial balance, isn't it? But we didn't do that. So with the help of the journal entry, easily we can rectify these errors, but some errors will affect trial balance. That errors will be entered in only one side, isn't it? Only one account. So we cannot rectify by journal entry. So specially one account should be opened, that is suspense account.